Welcome back to another episode of the Creepypastas. Last episode I discussed Smile.jpg, and the majority of the people seem to want to watch me do an episode of Jeff the Killer, also known as Go to Sleep. So first off, let's define who Jeff is. At the beginning of the story, we find out he's a murderer. The pictures we see seem to define him as a deformed or mutated being, which in some way is exactly right. Later on in the story, we find out Jeff is just some 13-year-old boy, a normal boy who has recently moved into a new neighborhood. He's that normal, he even has a family. A brother named Lou, a mother named Margaret, and a father named Peter. It's only until around the end of the story he officially evolves into a murderer. Throughout the story you get the signs of him losing his sanity as he gets this feeling. There are no pictures that I could find that shows Jeff as a normal 13-year-old boy, a young kid. I can only find pictures of his mutated side. While to be correct, he's not mutated, his face is just burnt. The picture reminds me a lot of the famous Joker from the Batman series, just because the smile stands out on Jeff and the Joker, and how they both get the smile are kind of similar but in different circumstances. Next, the history of Jeff. Who wrote the story? Well, I looked around, it's impossible to find it. Either this is a small creepypasta that was not famous enough to get people to write articles about it, or the person stayed anonymous the whole time throughout. It doesn't even show the date that article was written on the Creepypasta wiki website. If anyone has got any information on the background and or history of this creepypasta, feel free to post it on the comments or message me. Furthermore, the actual story itself. If I must say, this is one of the more enjoyable stories to read. I don't know why, but this seemed a bit more interesting. Maybe it's the fact there's a serial killer who looks so scary. The story begins with an extract of a newspaper. Apparently Jeff is being chased by the police. However, they can't find him and there's very little evidence left behind. It goes on about a little kid telling a story of how he survived Jeff. He seems to use a knife a lot. Perhaps it's because that's the main part of Jeff's killing. The first violent act that had happened is when he first had a knife. He stabbed someone in the arm. Early on in the storytelling, Jeff is having feelings. The first one isn't as painful and he dismisses it. The second one is a bit painful, but again, he dismisses it. The last one is where it all happens. That feeling seems like some kind of uncontrollable anger mixed in with losing sanity. The story kind of revolves around the three kids wanting revenge on Jeff because he beat them up in self-defense, if you would want to call it that. Lou and Jeff are waiting for the bus on the first day of school, and three bullies come along, with a knife equipped demanding money. Jeff doesn't like the idea of getting bullied, and after that he gets a feeling, and that's when a fight breaks out. Jeff and a kid called Randy tussle for a while, until Jeff breaks his nose, puts him to the ground, snaps his wrist and takes the knife. Keith comes up charging towards him and Jeff stabs him, the first excessive violent thing he does. Later on, the police find out everything about it. Lou takes the blame for everything and gets sentenced a year in juvie. Now, Jeff's depressed until the day of the birthday party comes. Jeff is forced to go to it and the bullies are there, wanting revenge. The leader, Randy, states he doesn't get even, he wins. So basically, he wants to beat up Jeff, and he kinda does until Jeff gets the losing sanity feeling again. He actually kills one of the guys. Troy gets knocked unconscious by Jeff, and Keith sets Jeff on fire since he's covered in alcohol. He's highly flammable. Now this is how he got the face. It's a burnt face, completely white, feeling like leather. But when Jeff passed out, it was like his must murder now feeling went into a lockdown mode, where he was an insane person and he had a crazy urge just to kill. Not for pleasure or curiosity, he just wanted to kill. Anyways, the story ends off him with killing his parents and the brother. The end. Now, another add-on onto the story is his slogan, Go to Sleep. I got an audio file that just seems like an audio played in reverse and slowed down to give it a creepy effect. Here it is. The story seems good at the beginning, but gets rather silly at the end. I mean, there's a birthday party, 4 13-year-olds are fighting, smashing bottles over Jeff's head, covered his face with bruises and dripping with blood, 3 bullies wielding guns and Jeff killing a kid. Wouldn't the parents have called the police or Jeff's parent try to jump in and save them? Isn't that what a good parent would do? Save their child or make sure they're protected? No. Instead, these parents just go to lunch at Subway. The thought of the story here seems rather irrational and sounds kinda impossible, but it could happen. Another thing is, after his face is burnt, it only takes him a couple of days to re-heal. That sounds a bit inaccurate too. I may be incorrect, but if you just had the hell beat out of you and set on fire after multiple vodka bottles smashed to the head, would it really only take you a couple of days to re-heal? Or maybe a week or more? So to believe this is on your own accord. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give the story a 7. The creepiness of the story, I'll give it an 8, just because of the audio file and the pictures. and the overall rating would be a 7.5. Lastly, remember to subscribe, like or dislike, and comment. Be sure to vote for the next creepypasta, and if you see a vote you already won, just thumbs up the comment. You can only choose one story, so choose wisely. Be sure to check out my other episodes. Also check out my LPs of Medal of Honor and Majora's Mask. Hope you enjoy, and I will see you guys soon for the next episode of the Creepypasta episodes.